This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Consider supporting us on Patreon.
Yo, 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 what the fuck is up, everybody out there on the YouTube social? Good buddy Papa Tikyo coming to you live from the Japan land. I guess we left the house at like 9:30 this morning, so it's already 11, so we've been on the road for about an hour and a half so far. We're like 1/6, 1/7 of the way home. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day on the road, but you know, it's nice though, because if we go on these smaller roads, I can take my time. I'm not pushing spaghetti's you know, speed. Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, people ask me, like, why don't you get a bigger engine cylinder bike or whatever? I mean, the truth is, it's just like, well, you know, it's more expensive, and if I had a bigger bike, I'd be speeding all the time, you know? It's a lot easier to keep my shit in order and maintained if I just fucking, you know, have a smaller bike. And that's weird. Like, I have my iPhone brightness on super high, and then I turned it down, or like it automatically got turned down. It's weird. Why did the iPhone do that? Maybe it just got burnt out or something. Okay, not yet. Oh, it's funny. I've seen a lot of 7-Elevens in Lawson's, but I haven't seen any Family Marts. And I've been really recently obsessed with the Family Mart Fammy Chicken. They have this like awesome spicy sweet fried chicken and like with a sandwich combination with tartar sauce, and it is the bomb. But anyway, yeah guys, welcome back to another Tkyorants. We're in the countryside here, somewhere in Japan, countrysiding it up, and yeah, new Sentororu Golf Club. Cool. Yeah, we're about like 100 kilometers outside of Tokyo. We're heading back to Tokyo now, and yeah, today I'm gonna be talking to you about this story, and I want to get your opinion on it, and I'm gonna give my opinion on it too. And yeah, it's gonna be all good and hot and sexual. And like always, I gotta say big special thank you to the sponsor of these videos, Nakano Shimbashi Guest House. Boom. Look guys, you just need a cheap place to stay in Tokyo. You're coming for, you know, a week, 2 weeks, a month, a couple months, and you want to be in a good central location, and you want to meet with Japanese people, and you're like, hey, you know, my rent is already X amount of money per month, and so if I can, I want to stay someplace cheap. And that's where Nakano Shimbashi has, it's got you covered, man. Nakano Shimbashi Guest House is less than $400 a month. It's located 5 minutes away from central Tokyo, Shinjuku. And yeah, it's just fucking good, guys. You gotta go check it out. And anyway, the links are down below. And when you make a reservation, tell them that Papa Tikyo sent you. And also, big shout out to NordVPN. Boom. Yeah, guys, if you're looking for VPN, or you're just looking at, like, you know, you're studying Japanese, you want to watch Japanese Netflix, or you're planning on traveling a lot and you're going to be using public Wi-Fi because you're too cheap to get a SIM card, yeah, getting a VPN, even when you're at home, you know, you're torrenting, looking at gay porn, whatever you're doing, you know, you just you got to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe, like the great Scotsman does, etc., etc. So this guy gonna let me go? You go. Oh, look at that effeminate car. Ugh. Yeah. If you're a man, you gotta drive something sexual, something enviable, etc. But anyway, yeah, so it's like you know, yeah, NordVPN. Just, you know, I got a promo code. It's cheap. You should get it. Links down below. Check that shit out. Also, big shout out to everybody who signed up on patreon.com/TkyoSam. All of you sexy ass patrons who want your name read at the, you know, shown at the end of these videos, and just Google AdSense, sometimes it pays well, but most of the time it doesn't pay that much at all. And, I'll get demonetized or whatever because they said fuck too much or whatever. So, any bit of money helps. And so thank you guys that go over there and check that out. And I guess big question of the day, what was, what's a boundary with you, And, where do you draw the line with boundaries? That's what I want to know. Look at that. There's just a crane hanging out while this guy's just farming his rice. That's so cool. The crane's just like, I'm looking for those frogs. Looking for the bugs. Yeah, because it's funny. I got the idea to talk about this when I was listening to Come Town last night. And, and it's like, Come Town is a podcast that one of my viewers, Nick, got me into. And it's about these 3 comedians. And, I'm going to make my own Tkyorants about this eventually. Because it's really interesting, It's an interesting topic, and I want to dedicate a whole video to that. But, it's just, what is it? There's 3 guys, and they're just friends, and they're talking. And there's this guy, Adam, on the podcast, and he always gets so much shit, He'll be trying to tell a story or whatever, and the other guys will just cut him off, And it's just what point do you draw the line of being dude, just stop being a sensitive little bitch, and then being nah, man, you're disrespecting me, fuck off, This is one of those things that I don't need to worry about that often because I live in Japan, and Japanese people for the most part have really nice manners and they don't cut you off. But it's I was watching this thing, and Adam had the 3 guys are talking, there's Nick and Stav and Adam, and they're all talking, and Adam's trying to tell them a story, and then Stav and Nick just keep cutting him off, and they're friends, they're all friends, they've got their friend dynamic or whatever, so I can't judge on their stuff, but just hearing that shit reminded me of why I don't like America, I remembered when I went back to America in Los Angeles to film with those guys for Raka Raka and stuff. I remember I'd be out with them or their friends or whatever, and I'd try to give a tell a story or something, or say something related, and then people would just cut me off, and it's they wanted to talk over me. And I'm dude, I was going to be done in 2 sentences. What the fuck? And it's just I felt oh man, that is just so, I wouldn't put up with that behavior. It was only because these people were friends with my friends. And so I just, I let it slide because I didn't want to cause unnecessary bullshit for them. But it's I would never let somebody talk to me like that, if somebody's going to talk over me like that, I'll let it go once or twice. 3rd time, I'm dude, just don't do that. And if they do it, I'm yeah, fine. I'm just not talking or seeing that person ever again. I don't need people like that are disrespectful to me in my life like that. And it's well, some people, it's there's 2 sides of the coin, though. It's oh, man, you just, you got to not be so serious, dude, blah, blah, blah. And then the other side of the coin is yeah, I can see that. Yeah, fuck those guys, And, when you're in the creative space, or whatever you want to call this, making YouTube videos, it's a delicate balance. And, people ask me, if you're not making that much money on YouTube, you haven't had that much success over the last, decade or whatever of YouTube, why do you still do it? And I'm overall, it's just well, 1, I like doing it, and 2, I don't need to put up with bullshit like that, and if I do, it's for shit in my favor. It's don't put up with shit that you don't want to put up with, and if you do it with a purpose. And anyway, I was going to tell a story that kind of related to that I thought about yesterday when I was listening to that podcast. And so when I came back from you know, like 2 years ago or whatever, I went on a trip, a little trip outside of Japan, to film YouTube with some buddies. And then when I came back a little early. I was gonna stay for like 4 months, but on the 3-month mark, my friend, who I'm just gonna, you know, redact his name, because I said I'm not gonna put his face or anything in my YouTube videos anymore. But my buddy at that time, he was in Japanese jail, and he had gotten released. Like, he finally got bail to be released from Japanese jail. And so I was like, oh shit. And like, you know, his lawyer and a couple people were like, oh man, he's talking about killing himself, blah, 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 blah. And that worried me, you know, because we've been trying to get him out of jail for months. And we finally got him out of jail and on bail until his trial. And I was like, shit, I'm going to go and live with him and like make sure he doesn't kill himself and make sure, like, basically take care of him, you know. And so, like, you know, I went there. I made, you know, I did impose, you know. I did basically be like, hey, I want to stay at your place. And, you know, that guy, I had gotten him, while he was in jail, I had gotten like maybe 20 plus people to send him books so he wouldn't be bored. You know, I put his family in touch with his landlord so they could pay his rent while he's in jail. You know, I got in touch with his company so they could be in touch with his lawyer. You know, I basically went way out of my way to help this guy because, you know, he's my friend, you know, and like, you know, I wanted to make sure that even though I wasn't a lawyer, I wanted to see if I could, you know, it's like, what is it? I wanted to make sure I could do what I could for him, you know? And I don't do that for a lot of people, but I wanted to do that for him, because I know him a long time and I care about him. But anyway, so he gets out of jail and you know, I cleaned his house. His house was just full of clutter and shit. And I cleaned up everything. I organized it into different bags, so like if he wanted to put stuff back, he could. But you know, there's just dust and like black mold in the fucking shower and stuff and all this shit. So cleaned up all of that. And of course, I was staying at his place for free rent. But you know, while he was in jail, I raised over 10 grand. Well, I mean, overall, you know, I raised 7 grand for him on GoFundMe through my subscribers on YouTube. And so if you guys have been a viewer of mine for a while, you know who I'm talking about. You know, and over the course of time, like, thanks to introducing him to my my subscriber, he got, like, you know, brand new furniture for his house. Somebody bought him a Nintendo Switch when he got drunk and in a fight with somebody and they broke his Switch. You know, he's not a bad dude, but he's just troubled, you know? He's a troubled guy. But anyway, you know, after all this stuff of, like, you know, getting him back and everything and all this shit and whatever, you know, we were out, like, you know, he told me that, you know, when we were riding around, I think on my motorcycle for a day or whatever, we ran past this guy, this white dude named Mitch. And I was like, oh, hey, and I was like, oh, you want me to stop? And he's like, nah, dude, fuck that guy. And I'm like, fuck that guy. Why? Well, you just waved at him. Like, you know, why didn't you flip him off or something if you feel that way? And he's like, it's just, you know. And I was like, why are you pissed off at him? He's like, well, when I was in jail. Because, see, my friend got sent to jail because, long story short, this Mexican guy that was staying with him told the cartel that he was working for or whatever to send meth to my friend's address. And my friend was stupid and he signed a package for it or whatever. And yeah, and they arrested him on the spot. And you know, my friend was really depressed, so it was easy to get taken advantage of and shit, right? So anyway, so my friend got arrested for that. And yeah, so like just for being used as a address mule to get this meth for this Mexican dude named Sebastian, and who eventually got released from jail, ironically. Like, he got released. He was in jail for, like, solitary confinement for, like, 2 years, and they just released him. They never charged him with anything. Just 2 years solitary confinement. Holy shit. But anyway, yeah, so I was like, hey, why are you pissed off at that Mitch guy? And it's like, well, his wife, that guy's wife, when I was in jail, you know, instead of for drugs, she's told everybody he was like, she told everybody that I was selling and making child porn or something. And I was like, holy shit, dude, like that's a big fucking dude, that's like a huge defamation of character, whatever the fuck that is, like goddamn. And I was like, wow. Oh, I was like, okay. And I was like, did she apologize? No, not yet. And I was like, dude, like that is a huge difference from getting used as a fucking pack mule for, or like unsuspected address mule or whatever for drugs. And I was like, it's all like public knowledge now that like that was what happened. And I was like, I can't believe she spread a rumor like that. And it's like, well, she said that like I'm creepy because I'm an otaku or whatever. And I was like, that fucking cunt. And I was like, wait a second, so did your friend Mitch stand up for you at all? And he's like, nah, I mean, he's kind of, I think him and his wife work together, so, he's got to take his wife's side. And I'm like, why are you still friends with that piece of shit? Like, if anybody did that to me and they didn't put their fucking woman in check for that, then, like, that person is out of my life, and I'm clearly like, fuck you. And, my friend's like, well, we're part of this, like, group in this area, we're part of, like, this in-group, like, all of these foreigners that know each other in this area, like, in order to get along, I just kind of, like, let it slide. And I'm like, you let his wife saying that you're a pedophile slide? Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? And he's like, look, it'll cause more trouble than it's worth, so fuck it. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And so, like, for me, I'd be like, fuck her. I would, like, if somebody did that to me, dude, I would get fucking revenge, man. I would, like, I remember, okay, so I won't say the name of who this person is, but one of my friends that's online, right? One of my other friends who's a creator online, one of the things that he did was this woman, because my friend's kind of like an alt-right guy on YouTube, but this woman, she made she was making all these articles about my friend talking shit about him online. And so when you would Google my friend's YouTube name, like her articles would sometimes pop up talking shit. And she was lying about, this is another friend, this is a YouTube friend. And she was saying that he's like a pedophile, he's a rapist, drug dealer, whatever. And, my friend reported her or whatever to Twitter and all this stuff, but they didn't do anything. So my friend played dirty. And what he did was he like, he made he's like, okay, fuck her. And he hired, he went to a bunch of these different blog sites and just hired, like that. He knew people that worked there. And he's like, hey, man, how much for you to write an article talking shit about this chick? And they're like, oh, $100. My buddy spent like $500 and got all these people to write all these fucking these blogs calling her a pedophile and a horrible person. And on top of that, he bought her a bunch of bots for Instagram. So Instagram's like, oh, error, and it just like shut down her stuff. And so she eventually just shut down all of her social media and deleted it, and like everything got deleted. And I'm like, yeah, take that, bitch, you fucking shit-talking cunt, And, I don't think I'd go that far, but, yeah, like my friend was like, dude, you want to fight, you can only fight fire with fire, And I was like, yeah, I guess now, huh? And so, but just the fact that, like, my other friend, the guy in Tokyo, the prison friend, just the fact that he hung out with that guy still, I'm like, why? Like, why would you still allow somebody like that to be in your life, Yeah, like for me, like I have a very clear line, and once you cross it, there's no coming back, like you're, like once you're past that line, you're done for, and it's funny because like there's people that it's so funny because like all these people that talk shit about me online, which I'll save for my Tokyo Drew rants, but just to kind of chime in on that in a little bit, like it's just there's all these people online who talk shit, and then like secretly I think they just want to be friends. Like they buckle so quickly. Like there's a podcast that like barely had any viewers, like maybe like 50 people were watching their podcast. And, like these guys, like their whole podcast was basically talking shit about Japan vloggers and you know, just talking shit about Japan vloggers, and then the Japan vloggers that would respond to them would contact them back, and the guys would be so cordial and so nice, because they're like, oh shit, like we talked shit about this guy and we totally got all this information wrong, and now the guy straightened out the information we got wrong, and now we're cool, so we can be friends with this guy, or at least we're on talking terms with this guy. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you guys, like nah, dude, like I haven't blocked them yet on social media and stuff, but I think I might soon, just because it's like, yeah, I don't want that what is it, like I don't want to open up that line of messaging with them. Like I don't want to have contact with them, you know. It's like people like that, it's just sad, because it's like the only thing you have going for you is just talking shit online, and you're not even talking good shit. You're not even being harsh about it. You're just like being leafy, you know. You're just making like mild commentary about cringy stuff that nobody cares about, you know. 100 kilometers to Tokyo, goddamn. 100 more kilometers, fuck. Well, if there's not that many red lights, then I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, just like people like that, dude, it's just so sad, because like I know that they just want to be friends with me or whoever they're talking shit about. Like I had another guy, he made a video about me, and like he took all these like the worst looking clips that I could have about stuff, you know, about me or whatever, and the guy put you know, it was all stuff that I had said. And at first when I saw it, I got really angry, because it made me look really pathetic and shitty. But after looking at that, I was like, damn, you know, this guy probably spent at least 6+ hours making this video, to go through all of these videos that I had made, and then just to get like a couple seconds worth of clips. I mean, this guy spent a lot of time on this video. And then I was like, oh, this guy secretly just wants to be my friend probably, you know. And I remembered that guy tried to join my Discord, and he had made another video talking shit about me, and I was just like, nah, dude. And he got all butthurt. He's like, what the fuck, why can't I join? And I'm like, because you made a video talking shit about me, dude. Like, did you think this would get you in the good graces with me? And it's like, well, the second time I saw his video, I was like, wow, you know, he put a lot of effort into that. And I even wrote a comment being like, yeah, man, I'm not even angry. Like, this is really well made. And I said everything like that, so of course, you know, whatever. And, you know, I don't get that many people taking clips of me or making videos about me, so, you know, I really appreciate, you know, thank you for doing that, you know. I see this as like a gesture of goodwill versus just talking shit, so thanks. You know, and the guy was like, wow, you have a good sense of humor about this. I'm surprised. So I'm like, yeah, well, you know, what? I'm still not going to let you join my Discord. I still don't want to talk to you, but hey, you know, got to give credit where credit's due. You did a good job, so fucking A, man. Rock and roll. So, I don't know. It's just like I don't know, I'm trying to think about, like, so there was another guy I worked with. His name was Taylor, and he was like an ex-Mormon guy who I guess, I'm guessing he was just married to a Japanese woman for like a couple of years, and he got permanent residency that way. But this guy, like, you know, he's awkward, you know, like I only hung out with him for a bit when I worked at my one company, and because he worked for like the quality assurance area, I think, while I worked for the translation department. And you know, the guy's got 2 kids and everything, and I remember just going out to like film a food. I think like it was In-N-Out Burger or some kind of American food place had a pop-up shop in Tokyo for a day, and so I went there with a friend to go there, and apparently like you needed to reserve a place in line online or something, and I hadn't seen that on the blog post that talked about that. So you know, for the camera I hammed it up a little bit, and I'm like, oh fuck, like, you know, I couldn't, like, god damn it, like I can't go there now. And he's like, and I, you know, and he was trying to be humorous or sarcastic, and I was like, damn. And he's like, yeah, too bad you're a fat fuck or something. I was like, wait, what? You know, like, I was like, I've been nothing but nice to you up until now. Like, I know you're maybe trying to be sarcastic or whatever, but I was like, oh fuck, I'm not even gonna respond. I'm just like, wow, okay, well, even if you didn't mean that in a mean way, like, that's not cool, dude. And he already, like, immediately when he did that, he was like, oh shit, like, I fucked up. And I was like, yeah, I'm not talking to you anymore, douchebag, you know? It's just like, and again, you could be like, well, man, you know, that's really sensitive. You should have just told him how you felt. And I'm like, yeah, no, like, I'd worked with that guy for a couple months, you know? Like, he already knew how I felt. So, like, whatever, you know? Fuck him. But, you know, it's just like, life is full of just like, I mean, that's the great thing, you know? As you get older, you have the chance to be like, yeah, I don't like this person. I don't want to be around them. It's not like high school where you're forced to be in the same classroom with somebody you don't like, just because, you know, like, you just got to grit your teeth and kind of get through it, you know? When you're an adult, you can choose who you want to deal with. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to live in the countryside, is because it's like, you know, by living in the city in Tokyo, like, I have access to so many fucking places and people. So if somebody's a dick to me, I'm like, okay, you know, if they cross that line, I'm like, yeah, you're out of my life, and I don't feel any need to keep you there. As opposed to if I was in the countryside and I'm like, shit, you're like the only other foreigner or person that likes this stuff that I like. Like, damn it, I guess I gotta kind of put up with your shitty behavior and hope that we can grow and you can learn not to be such a dick, you know? And it's just like, I don't like being in that position, and I don't want to be in that position. So it's just, yeah. And why are all these cars in the middle and right lane? Am I in like a bus lane or something? Yeah, well, anyway. Can I pull over here at all? And let me pull over and stretch my ass for a little bit. Stretching meine Assen Cheekenstein. Anyway, guys, you stay black. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and subscribe bell to get notified next time another one of my videos comes out. And, yeah, you know, let me fucking know. Oh, man, is this gonna... There's, like, no shade over here. There we go. Let's go over here to some shade and get some drinks. Get a nice cold drink from the vending machine. They gotta have a vending machine here. It's an Enios. Damn, she a cutie. Nice. Yeah, let's park on the side here, so not in the way, but still in the shade. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. You stay black. Peace out. Yeah, buddy.